The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, we are back, Leighton. Are you ready? He's feeling
I'm ready.
He's back to work on a Monday.
I thought about something, and I forgot to tell you behind the scenes that I think is so cool. Penn State football released their themed games this year, and they did like the dope graphics. I didn't know y'all did a helmet stripe game.
Yeah.
That is amazing. For fans who don't know, it's like the section of fans that are directly on the 50-yard line are the blue stripe, and the rest of the stadium is white, like the football helmet.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, you want to throw
I mean, I was at the first whiteout, which I think is hands down the best night in college football. And any night game that we have, if we want to white it out, we white it out.
Mm-hmm.
The day game whiteout doesn't have the same thing just because it is such a stark contrast when it's a night game. But there's a section of the stands that they have, and it's I forget how you do it, but depending on your ticket, you get a shirt and they write out the S in white within a blue section of stands. So
I've seen that picture.
In the seats, it's an S. And I will say last week, the football release videos, the schedule release videos from NFL teams,
they're amazing.
I mean, by far the best one was the Tennessee Titans. That was hysterical.
Yes.
Hysterical.
We are the Red Stallions.
The Red Stallions. Yeah. The best.
And she roared.
The best.
I don't know if you saw, but the Falcons changed their Twitter handle to the Red Stallions.
Did they?
Yeah, so that was like our whole thing all weekend.
Oh man.
That's right.
Shout out to everybody in chat. I see BC Lion, Freddie Airmail, our girl Ruth is Cutie, Jay Spacely.
Oh, BC Lion going in like a lot earlier.
Yeah, I know. He's usually like second half Canadian shout out.
Yeah.
It's Canadian time zones different from American time zones. They go by 30 minutes. So as you go across the country, it's like it's not an hour, it's 30 minutes. But it's also in metric time, which metric time is different than our time. You know that?
Okay. Learn something new every day. Nice. You know what else I learned this
I'm
weekend?
totally fucking with you.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was about to give you like a whole maple syrup spiel. Like I thought we were doing this Canadian thing. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh man. All right. If you know, I've only been to Canada a handful of times, but I do have a very good friend who's from Canada, and the Edmonton Oilers lost last night, and we'll get to that later in the show. Freddie Emerald, there's a time exchange rate. Yes, he's right. It fluctuates. Yep. Shout out to everybody on a Monday. This is Back to Work. We're here every single Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I am currently in the East Coast time zone in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the greatest city on the planet. It's a city of champions. What else can I say about it? I mean, yesterday was gorgeous, driving through the city, the fountain, boats on the river. You guys don't even have a river in Atlanta.
No, we don't, but we have a lake.
You do have a lake.
We have a lake, and it's green, and it has ducks in it. It's in Piedmont Park.
And you have that belt line, which is actually pretty cool.
No, the belt line is so fun.
Yeah. It's Jay Spacely. Pittsburgh is still a city. Yeah, it's the city, Jay Spacely.
It's still a city.
Let me tell you something. And I had a wedding this past weekend that I officiated here in Pittsburgh with all my family. And I told Leighton before the show went live that being 41 years old does not help the hangover on a Sunday, and then it gets worse on a Monday. Like I was more tired today than I was yesterday, but I'm coming back around. especially when you have a 2-year-old to chase around. It's a ton of fun. Okay, Leighton, before we get into our normal thing, you and your lovely girlfriend Ray, who was on a bunch of the shows in season 2.0 of Fan Controlled Football, we're talking about fan controlling reality TV. Jim, there's no graphic for this one. This is just a Leighton conversation we had before the show went live, and I want to talk about it. Tell me about how this all started.
All right, of course, being the inclusive sports fans we are, I wanted to figure out, how do we get women into sports betting even more? And I asked my girlfriend and my close friend's girlfriend, would they bet or fan control, their favorite shows. So those shows are like Love is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, Circle, Sexy Bees, Bachelorette, Bachelor. I think that's it. I think I hit them all. But if you could fan control, would you? And as I'm listening to it, I realized it's actually a great opportunity. Like if you could say, hey, Marissa, we vote she dates David next episode, and she cuts off Jim. Sorry, Jim. She cuts off.
Wow. Sorry, Jim. Oh, wow.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry. Jim gets cut off because he does this terrible Pittsburgh accent that she doesn't think is attractive. Fans could vote.
There you take a shot at the Pittsburgh accent, Leighton.
I was going to see if he would come on the mic and do it, because I've been asking for it for a couple months now.
Good God.
Yeah, that was the conversation.
Unbelievable. Go ahead.
But yeah, that was the conversation. Like, could you fan control these live or these dating shows, and how many people get into it? So that was the conversation.
Yeah, I think, and Andrew Cook says, is Pittsburgh the Wrexham of the U.S.? Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
really great comparison. It's a bigger city than Wrexham, obviously, but it has the same kind of die-hard fandom of people, and in a very, very charming way, if I can say it like that, right? And what Ovio Go said, "Stop it, Yins." He knows the word. He is. As you guys, you know what Yins is, right, Leighton? I've told you about Yins.
No, you haven't.
So
Pittsburgh Dictionary lately.
In Philly, they would say "yous." In the South or Texas, they say "y'all." In Pittsburgh, we say "yins." Okay.
Yins.
So
can you use it in a sentence, please?
Yeah, like if instead of like, "Hey, are you guys all going downtown?" We would say, "Hey, Yins going downtown." Oh man, you're gonna hang out down there. Go to Chauncey's. You go to Donzi's, you go to Station Square, maybe go to North Shore before a Bucko game. Got to cross that Clemente Bridge, okay? Traffic gets a little back up there on Boulevard of the Allies. You got to be careful. If you want to make it to stadium time, Yins better hang out early. And don't be walking around telling everybody that you're better than me, because Yins ain't better than nobody, okay? And that's Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm bummed out. This guy, so wow. When you hear like the thick original guy, like the person that doesn't know they have a Pittsburgh accent or really embraces the Pittsburgh accent, it is something to behold. Ovio Ghost said, spot on. Thank you, Ovio Ghost. I appreciate that. And so, but Yins, see history and usage below for is a second person plural pronoun used mainly in Western Pennsylvania English, most prominently in Pittsburgh, but it is also found throughout the cultural region known as Appalachia, located within the geographical region of the Appalachians. Yeah, but so Pittsburghers, like real, like dirty, not dirty, but like Pittsburghers that use Yins, that say it, those are Yinsers.
By the way, is there a restaurant called Pittsburghers in Pittsburgh? I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
I think so.
Like we have Hotland of Wings here.
Yeah, right.
But do y'all have Pittsburghers?
No. There's no. What we do have is Permanente Brothers. That's our famous sandwich, and it's a sandwich with French fries and coleslaw and tomato on the sandwich, and it's all in like a big piece of thick Italian bread. It's delicious. Amanda hates it. But it's the best drunk food you'll ever have in your life. And it's open till 4 a.m. So it's totally worth it. And they have them all the stadiums. Okay. They have them at the airport. HJ's basically says we need an episode of slang trivia. Each person comes up with a word and the other has to choose if it's an actual thing or not. Oh, dude, we have Pittsburghese. We have like a whole language of words, and I can bring it to you. I can bring you a mug that my mom has with all the words, and I'll see if you know what each word means. Pretty good.
Hey, one of our slang words ended up on Jeopardy. So...
Did it?
Yeah.
What word?
Yeet. Yeet. It's a very South Atlanta thing. Yeah, it ended up on Jeopardy.
What's yeet mean?
To throw. Or to take something.
Oh, like yeet.
Yeah. But it's a little bit more aggressive. It's like yeet. Like that's how you do it. Just Or like if you throw something like if you're instead of like saying Kobe, if you're throwing a football and you just throw it yeet and you just throw it out. Yeah.
Oh,
then there was yaga. That was another word, but that was from a trend that meant like if you pull hair. So that was a whole thing.
Leighton, I yaga to this day.
You know how
this day I yaga.
Yaga was so popular that we included it in our first dance routine in the band in college. We yaga in our dance routine. That's how popular it was.
Wow. Okay. Hey, learn something new every day. I do like, yoink is like yaga, yeet, yank. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeet, yank, yoink.
Yeah, it's really the same thing.
I really do love the idea of fan controlling reality television and having our own version of a reality show that we digitally stream and almost like Truman Show all the time, where fans get votes nonstop. Now, I don't know how Big Brother does it, but I know there's no like fan controlled nature of it, right? Like there's no, and I would love to do some version like our fan controlled reality show. I mean, listen, we are fan controlled sports and entertainment, right? You see that E at the end of the logo down there. I think fan controlling a reality show for like a month every 3 or 4 months is a fantastic business model. You rent a house, you have the live stream on the whole time, and each day the fans get to control what they do in a relatively
you don't want this turn into like Sims.
Correct. Yeah. But like votes open, votes close. I think it becomes like this combination of Big Brother, The Bachelor, Love is Blind. Like you put them all together into one kind of show, and it is a lot.
Hear me out.
Go.
But what if we could do a fan controlled Sims? We find a community of like apartments and homes or whatever, and folks can really like control. This person buys this house. This person starts this business, or a fan controlled real life Monopoly. Like we have like a makeshift Hollywood neighborhood.
Yes.
And people.
Yeah, here's the thing.
We're going to get into the Hunger Games. That's the point I'm getting at. But
duh. Basically, we're the Hunger Games. Can they hoop or score tutties though? Yeah, I mean, really and truly, what we're talking about is we take over a Marriott in Atlanta with football players and fan control them on a field. But instead of that, we take over like a neighborhood of Ryan homes of people, or some sort of, like you said, like a townhomes or something where people move in. And then they have to make their way to win the game of Monopoly.
Yes.
And it's fan controlled.
Yes.
And big dice are rolled like every couple of hours, like down the street. And you're like, uh-oh.
That would actually be really funny. But then like there's a little silver car. Somebody has to actually have that real car. Like the
Yeah. And the shoe and the, and the hat.
Oh, yeah, everything.
But
the person has to wear that shoe. Like there's only one of them too.
Ruthless Cutie really says it best, is like FC Naked and Afraid. That is a perfect kind of a thing. Is we take an aspect of every show. It's not thievery if we take just an aspect. So one guy in this show is naked, and the fans have to control if like, can we give him underwear or her underwear? Can we get him a shoes? Like just get him something to wear.
But like we should not let the local police know about this, because now they get arrested for public indecency, and it's like, did we bail them out?
Yes. One shoe, Ruthless Cutie said. I think there's a world where if we're fan controlling if we're fan controlling a reality show, and we just keep like the possibilities are endless of what you add to this show.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
Like we are the ones that control the votes. There are no rules here.
Jessica's allergic to peanut butter. Do we feed it to her? Like,
just start pumping in peanut dust into the house.
I have to stop using real employees on this show.
This is actually a very good idea, and it would kill on Twitch for a month. Just have cameras running all of the time.
Mm-hmm. It'll eventually become the Hunger Games. I promise you. But
and I think that's the point, right?
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
It'll devolve, but it'll become a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we won. We got it. It only took us 20 minutes into the show. We're not even on our first topic, but let's let's get to a sports topic. Right. I don't. Is it okay to call him Ja Moran?
Yes. It's the perfect pun.
Right?
Is it a pun?
I think that's a pun.
Yeah, I think it falls under. But no, it works. It's definitely.
Is there nobody in his life that are just like, hey, we're not asking you to stop breathing. We're not asking you to stop drinking water. We're not trying to tell you to be a different person. We're just telling you to do one thing. It's real simple. Stop flashing guns in Instagram live videos. It's not even like flashing guns at public places. It's literally just an Instagram live videos and he keeps flashing guns.
Like I texted you, I think he's 5 levels of stupid. And I was actually really upset. Like I was so upset I was walking into a Whole Foods yelling about this exact topic. Like it's really stupid. And I was watching First Take this morning, and the thing that I agree with is like he is emulating gang life, but most like gang members actually hate what he's doing because they know he's not really about it. So it's like, yo, stop. Like, stop. Like you're not about this. Like you get paid. What is he getting? Like $20 million a year?
Yes.
Right now? No, 40. He's getting 40 a year to bounce a ball and score. You're gonna throw it away by waving like he's Malibu's most wanted.
Oh, he is B-Rad. He's B-Rad.
He's B-Rad.
Yeah.
He is.
He's B-Rad. Freddie Airmail said it best. Like what we're saying. They're not even telling him to stop owning a gun. Just the Instagram part of it. You can own all of the guns. Legally. Go. Carry. Yeah.
Or license carry. Whatever.
Just stop doing Instagram live videos where you are playing with a gun.
Exactly.
Right? Like imagine I tell Ja Morant signed a 5-year, $194 million contract, including guaranteed an annual average salaries of $38.8 million. He'll earn a base salary of $33.5 while carrying cap. It's unbelievable. You know how much money that is to just not put a gun in an Instagram live video. That's a lot of guns he can buy.
No, it's really stupid. It's so stupid. And it's like we already gave you a chance. You did the interview, you did everything. You went to therapy, whatever it is, but like, no, I want to keep waving guns. I want to do hood red. Sorry, like I want to do hood red shit. Like that's just what he wants to do. And it's
I'm so confused, Leighton. This is like John Daly, the golfer. Okay, here's a great quote by John Daly. Okay. He's like, did you stop drinking? No, I stopped drinking whiskey because I knew if I drank whiskey, things would get out of control. So now I just drink beer and Diet Coke because that's what I can control. Okay, Ja, take a page out of John Daly's book. You can do all the Instagram live videos you want. You can do all of the gun stuff that you want legally. Just don't put them together.
Exactly. Common sense.
You can't even play golf with guns. Like you can't even really do anything with guns that is safe.
No, not at all.
Like you can't even wing it around because you're going to hit something or it's going to go off. Freddie Airmail. So what's the Diet Coke of guns then? Those little rubber band guns that you get at street fairs? How's that?
I was thinking the little guns you get at the store that have the orange cap on it.
Yes.
And it's just the sound of the clicking.
Or like Nerf, the little Nerf pistols that we had at the... Thank you, Ruthless Cutie. Compromise. Nerf gun. Yeah.
Nerf guns. I would love to see him in a Nerf commercial. Actually, I would really love him. I would love, like, his agent is actually felling him right now. Like, hey, look.
Come on. Show the kids that it's okay to have a Nerf gun, just not a real gun. And then he goes on Instagram Live with a Nerf gun he painted all black to look like a real gun.
It's like, dude, you killed it again. Oh, God.
Stop doing it. All right, Jim, what's next?
Back to work.
All right. Okay. I'll be honest. I was a little upset that Golden State laid an egg in Game 6. I was upset.
I was upset until I looked at the box score and I was laughing. That box score was terrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Steph Curry, 30 points. Klay Thompson, 7.
7. The other Splash brother wasn't even in the pool. Leighton. He was out frolicking and just like, I love the ocean. Well, where nobody else is there.
Is the water cold, Steph? Yes. Get in, please.
I'll stay here. Can I have another Mai Tai? Excuse me, another Mai Tai? Why? Okay. And here's the thing. I love the Lakers, but I also love the Warriors, which I know is a weird thing. I'm not the kind of NBA fan that has had a tried and true team my whole life because I'm from Pittsburgh. We don't have an NBA team. People treat the Pittsburgh Panthers like an NBA team, which is great, right? Great college program. The Pitt, University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We treat them like our NBA team, which is awesome. I've been to many a Pitt game. The student section is incredible, right? Mm-hmm. But we are not like a basketball crazed town, right? We've always been a football town. So for me, my first love in the NBA was Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
I like Magic Johnson a lot too when I was younger, but that Michael Jordan Bulls team like changed my whole life as far as NBA went. And then, Michael Jordan leaves the Bulls and I'm not really a Bulls fan. I was just rooting for Michael Jordan. So I'm one of those lame dudes when you're like, who's your NBA team? It's like, I actually just really like to root for players, right? Like that is sort of me, I think. I hate saying that.
No, I get it. Yeah, that's funny though.
Right. So for me, I like seeing LeBron James win. I do. Mm. I like seeing that at this age, and he keeps silencing the doubters. And this Lakers team at the beginning of the season was an absolute train wreck.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I like to see them win, but I also love Steph Curry. He's like my favorite, right? And my mom is giving me a note. We have life-size cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan still in the attic. That's my mom. She just handed that.
Oh, I need to see those. No.
Send pictures.
My brother was a big Michael Jordan fan.
It's still there.
My brother was is still a huge Michael Jordan fan.
University of Pittsburgh, Dan Marino, or.
Yeah, my mom just said, don't ever say a bad word about the University of Pittsburgh or Dan Marino or so. Welcome to my family, Leighton. Welcome to my family.
Can I say something bad about the ACC?
Yeah, of course.
Version of the Pitt Panthers? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the big, not the Pitt of old, right?
No. Well, think about the Pitt of Big East. That's the Pitt that we love.
That's the question I was getting. Can I talk
yes.
about because ACC Pitt is a little okay.
Correct. But so that's why this series and my little nephew loves the Warriors and my brother loves the Warriors. So them losing in such spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
And I gotta be, dude, have you noticed the common theme across these elimination games this season is the teams not showing up that are on the brink of elimination? Just laying eggs game after game after game.
Yes. The Sixers.
Yes. Thank you.
Utter fail.
And we can Jim, move on. We can go to the next game. Leighton just mentioned the Sixers.
Yeah.
Trust I'm sorry. You should never give the MVP of the NBA until the playoffs and everything is over.
Yes. I actually agree with that. Until every player that is eligible for that title season is done.
Yes.
Don't hand out that award. I actually don't think the MVP should be a regular season award at all. I don't.
Agreed.
Because the playoffs is where it counts. And that's where you should step up the most and impact your team. The fact that we gave it to a guy that's not even in his conference finals right now is very unsettling. It's extremely unsettling.
Agreed. A regular season MVP should be the guy on the worst team in the NBA that is still showing up and scoring 35 points in an effort to try and win a game.
Right.
Give me that guy. Yeah. Regular season MVP, maybe put that for the teams that didn't make the playoffs. You can't.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I think it's a terrible idea. It's probably
no. Actually, I get it because if that was the case, then Trae Young would have 2 or 3 of those for the Hawks.
Yes,
without him, we don't survive the play-in. We don't.
No,
I was thinking the same thing. SGA, he definitely deserves it, right?
Sure.
The Oklahoma City Thunder. But yeah, no MVP. I'm not giving that out until the playoff. Like every player who's eligible for that title, until all of their seasons are done.
Yeah.
Then we can have MVP.
Chase Basely, regular season MVP gets printed on the inside of the Wheaties box instead. Yes. Chase Basely said it best too. Like Tatum got that dog in him, and the Lakers Celtics rematch propaganda machine is working hard. I love people that think the NBA is scripted and the NFL is scripted. I love that argument.
Oh yeah, they're better than flat earthers.
Yes, yeah, totally. And Celtics Lakers rematch, great for the NBA, great for both of those teams. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the Lakers get past the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are a buzzsaw right now, and I don't know if they win a championship, but training a team mm-hmm. to have a winning culture is really, really hard. So, right, like the Nuggets have never had a winning culture. I'm sorry, they just because they've never won a championship.
But with that comment, then do you keep Doc Rivers? Because it is hard. It is hard.
It's really hard.
It would suck to see him get fired because we know it's on James Harden and Joel Embiid. Like it's them. They just don't have championship mentality.
Yeah.
Right. But no, go ahead. I just want to throw that.
No, I put that in there. Is it Doc Rivers? Because what? He only won the one when he had Kevin mm-hmm. Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce at max potential. Everybody's healthy. Since then, he has had super teams and really not done anything with them.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins was talking about because they gave the stats of how many game sevens Doc Rivers has lost.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to look at the position that those teams are in when they lost, which he only talked about the Celtics. I don't know if he made any game sevens with the Clippers, but one of them they lost to Kobe. The other one they lost to Dwight Howard and the Magic. So it sounded like excuses, but at the same time, like you kind of get it.
But losing the game sevens and then blaming it on the person you lost to is the most insane argument I've ever heard. Right? It's like I know I always bring it back to golf, but it's like, oh, well, I played against Tiger Woods, so I wasn't going to win. So you tell yourself going in, you can't beat Tiger Woods. Of course you're not going to beat Tiger Woods. That's how he already beat you. Mm. That Mamba mentality kind of a thing. But like, I'm not going to accept that as an argument. I'm not going to accept. I'm sorry. It's like Dwight Howard. Kobe's one argument. Kobe's one argument. Dwight Howard. Yeah, that's the Charles Barkley excuse. I played against Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So okay, Charles. Okay.
All right, Dan.
Because guess what? Like, Kevin Durant goes to Phoenix. Now he's just the traveling Wilbury, right? He wins the championships in Golden State, and then he didn't want to be part of the Golden State Warriors. It wanted to be Kevin Durant's Golden State Warriors. Well, it was never going to be because it's Steph Curry's team.
Steph Curry, yeah,
right. So he wins his titles and then he goes elsewhere. So what is that legacy? What is that?
He's a nomad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were talking about this as well. As like, I think that's why I actually wanted Steph to win this series, because I actually like seeing a player just dog it out with a franchise for a long time, accumulate those championships. It's like, I can equate this jersey to this player, this franchise to this player, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
But we are now in a generation where really, actually, I just blame OKC, because if you look at it, KD, Russ, and James Harden, that trio, ever since they blew that up, they've just been NBA nomads.
Yep.
It's really all it's been.
Yep.
I can't even bring the whole LeBron thing into this. Like, I understand why LeBron left Cleveland to go to Miami. But those three, they've literally just kind of been on a search for a ring, and KD's just been the luckiest of the three.
They were it's like the Beatles situation, right? George Harrison had a good single. Paul McCartney was clearly the star. Unfortunately, like John Lennon died early and Ringo Starr was just a drummer. But when the great band splits up because they want to go solo and none of them succeed, and then they come back, like when Blink-182 came back, and they're like, oh my God, they're back together. And they're like, oh, were you ever into Angels and Airwaves? And you're like, no, that's not Blink-182. I want my Blink-182 together, right? Like Wu-Tang, sure. Method Man's album, awesome. Ghostface Killah album, great. The RZA had a good one. But when they were all together, when they were all the clan, that's what I wanted. That's when the people filled the seats. They were only selling arenas when they were the Wu-Tang Clan.
No, you just made me think we'll never get Migos again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I get it. No, I get it. Like,
right?
Even before the tragedy, it was like Quavo. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
Yeah. So I want to do a documentary on that now. Like, that's really interesting that trio, their paths, I think, describes what was the problem of that team. Like James Harden, whether he was in Houston or now in Philly, in both situations where he's had a chance to win championships, he's disappeared. The same way he disappeared in OKC.
Yeah.
Russ, his issue is he's just not good at controlling himself on the court, but he doesn't make good decisions.
He's not a leader.
He's not a leader at all. So he wasn't a leader in OKC. He hasn't been a leader in any other franchise he's going to play for. And with KD, he just can't get it done without a supporting cast.
Yes.
And so he's just been hopping from superstar to superstar. He had Steph Curry lucked up there, but then boom, runs into the Kyrie situation. Now he's with an old Chris Paul, and unfortunately has a non-existent DeAndre Ayton on his team too. Like, everything that was wrong with them in KC is just following their careers. Just KD was the luckiest.
Yes.
That sucks.
But here, okay. So when you talk about a legacy of those dudes, the legacy is self over team.
Yes.
Right. They wanted. There was never a point where they were like, hey, if we stick together for like 4 more years and we bring in one piece, maybe 2, and a 6th man and get some good draft picks in there in OKC. Now we're talking about like a mini dynasty in Oklahoma City when they were all there together.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because they were all divas and thought they were better than each one respectively, and yes, they wanted to get that bag. They wanted that paycheck, right? They wanted that ring. Instead of fighting through it together and gotten together and been like, hey, this is special. Like, rarely organically does this happen on the same team.
Right.
It's like, hey, had Scottie Pippen had a better agent, Michael Jordan may not have those 6 titles.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody talks about that because he didn't start winning until he got Pippen.
Right.
And that's true. And if you, listen, the 72-win Bulls, Dennis Rodman, that was the best season of his life. Okay. That was the only year they were going to get Dennis Rodman, and then he went off the deep end. But Jordan and Pippen together, surrounded by a group of like decent players. And people may yell like Steve Kerr, John Paxton, Bill Weddington, Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc. Like, these are guys that were journeymen their whole life. OKC had 3 megastars. They had Jordan, and Pippen. And they didn't. And now those guys have bounced all over the place, and they are after Rands. I'm sorry. They're just.
No, they are. Yeah.
Instead of the question of like, oh, will they ever do it? It's like, will they ever? Well, not only will they ever do it, but will they ever like hold it again? They're now old.
Yeah, they are.
OKC was what, 2015? That's 9 years ago, man.
No, I think that was it. I think this season was it. I don't think James and Russ will ever win the title. I just don't. Again, KD just seems like he's the luckiest. He's just got to get over that I've always been number 2, thing.
Ovio Ghost said KD is making his Hall of Fame argument hard. He's definitely top 10, 15 all time, but is he the guy? You think KD is top 10, top 15 all time? No, I do not. Maybe top 10 of the last 10 years or last 15. Maybe top 10, top 15 of the 21st century.
I might have to agree with Ovio Ghost. I don't think you understand. Like, separate. Slim Reaper is real.
You think that Kevin Durant is top 15, top 10 NBA player all time? You think Kevin Durant? I'll give you in the top 35, maybe even top 50 in there.
How many MVPs? What, 1 or 2?
1. He just has the 1. Remember where he did that speech with his
MVP,
mom?
1 title with the Warriors or 2?
2. with the greatest shooter of all time, and Klay Thompson when he was healthy, and Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green. I mean, he just inserted himself to a team that didn't need him. KD in his prime was unstoppable and an elite defender.
He was an elite defender. Yeah.
Listen, it's an argument. I just don't know if he's top 15 all time. I don't think that Kevin Durant.
Maybe on next. How about this? Maybe, and fans hold me accountable. I'll try to come with an argument for next week's episode of is KD.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Ovio Ghost, you have started a brawl here.
Yeah.
BC Lion, any words about the XFL championship game? Thoughts? Arlington Renegades were like their version of the Zappers. They went 4-6 in the regular season and won the title. Yeah.
I was really shocked at the shirt The Rock had on. Like it was really tight. That was a really tight shirt.
Your shirt. He basically paints his clothes on.
Yeah. It was. I wasn't impressed by the trophy. The trophy looked like one of those cakes. That has the outside label. No, it was weird. It just didn't impress me. And the MVP trophy really pissed me off. It's just the X from the XFL.
I'm going to look up a Google image. Jim, can you bring up an image of the XFL championship trophy? Jim hasn't fallen asleep yet. I'm kidding, Jim. I'm messing with you, James.
DC Defenders, they fumbled. No, actually, the championship game was a complete FCF championship. The DC Defenders are they're board apes. They were the top team all season.
Sure.
And then they ran into Arlington. That was really it. Some competitive stuff.
Freddie Airmail, it's an X with a whisk on top, like a
no,
whisk.
Yes. No, it is. Have you seen?
I haven't seen. I'm waiting for him. I mean, Jim pulls it up. Oh, here we go. Yes, that's something. Yeah. It does look like
But now take that piece right and put it on top of this even bigger cylinder under it that was just black. It had XFL. It looked like one of those cakes that you see on Food Channel where they put the layer over it.
Yeah.
Matted color.
The fondant. Yeah. Football like whisk.
Yeah.
A football like whisk. Yeah. Okay.
XFL cupcakes. Yeah.
Got it. James B92111. You guys ever going to play a game again? God, I hope so. Because I will be honest. No, we are. Announcements are coming soon. All things being equal, our app has been a work in progress for a long time, and we're working hard on it. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes and I'm sure, as you guys know, it is not easy to put on a football season. It's very hard. And the XFL and the USFL going at the same time as us took a lot of our talent. And we are actively searching far and wide, not searching far and wide, but we are actively really, when you guys see what hoops is going to be like, it's bomb. It's going to blow the doors off the place. So I think it's less like a whisk and more like one of those industrial cookie mixers.
I'll give you that one too.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you that one too.
Appreciate that. All right, Jim, this is going to be, we go. This is your PGA Championship preview. The second major of the year, Leighton. This segment will not go long, I promise, because Leighton does. Okay. Jim, Leighton puts up. But here's the thing. I think Leighton, he wants to get good at golf again. Again, being he's never been good, but Leighton wants to get good at golf. I have this feeling that if we put Leighton into a serious golf training program, that we could actually get him to be good because you have athletic skill. You just need somebody to teach you the fundamentals of the golf swing. And when you finally figure it out, when it clicks and you flush that 7-iron for the first time, your life is going to be forever changed. Okay? Forever changed. But that
you got it, coach.
You do look like the kid in Little Giants. You do. Got it, coach. Okay. Jason Day won this past weekend for the first time in 5 years. He at one point in 2015 was the number one player in the world. He was the next world beater. He got a serious back injury, started getting vertigo, which is something that you can't cure vertigo. It just comes on. His mom died. He thought about quitting golf. He couldn't get healthy again. Full comeback. His wife is pregnant with their 5th kid. He wins this past weekend in Texas, trending straight upwards. Back-to-back wins on the PGA Tour is really, really tough, especially when you go from a regular tournament into a major. But I think a Jason Day top 10, top 15 is a serious possibility. His only major that he's ever won is a PGE championship, and he loves this course. Most golfers live in Florida or Arizona, Texas, maybe Las Vegas, right? Tax shelters with warm weather.
Right.
Jason Day lives in Columbus, Ohio. He just chose it. And he's Australian. Why an Australian moves to Columbus, Ohio? I don't know. Oh. But he's got, you should see, if you think a man cave is something, he built an entire like practice center and a driving range. Look up, Jason Day built his own like golf complex just for himself. It's unreal. Anyway, PGA Championship this weekend. Smart money right now obviously would be on a guy like Scotty Scheffler, your number one player in the world. A Jon Rahm looking to, as some golf pundits have said, Jon Rahm could win it's sick. Look up Jason Day golf complex at his house. This is his house. He owns it. It's incredible. He's got a putting green that you program to like put breaks into, and it just moves. It's a digital putting green. Can't unsee it. He lives in Antarctica. Smart money. Scotty Scheffler. I don't think Rory has it right now. I would not put my money on Rory McIlroy, but I do like some deep cuts with guys that have like this season has been awesome for them. I'm not ready to put any money on a Max Homa or a Colin Morikawa yet. I think they're saving it for Los Angeles at LACC for the U.S. Open in another month. But your top players in the world are playing well every week, and it's what the PGA Tour wants. Guys like Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, who have never won a major. This could be their major. They're going up to Rochester, New York. Everybody was afraid it was going to be cold. It's going to be warm. It's not going to be too hot, not going to be too cold. Warm weather weekend. Nobody's scared. Look at your top players. Don't go crazy on some flyer. If you're gambling on this, anybody over plus 1,800 probably not going to win. That's my thought. There you go. OVO. Jason got money. Boom.
No,
all right.
This is ridiculous.
Sick, right? Leighton, I had one hockey team that I was cheering for because my Penguins didn't make the playoffs. And that was the Edmonton Oilers, who have the best player in hockey, and it's not close. It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost last night to those pesky Vegas Golden Knights. And if you're telling me that the Western Conference Championship could be the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken, two teams that have been around a combined 8 years.
Yeah.
The hockey purists like Toronto, Edmonton, New York,
Chicago, they're pissed.
Livid. They take the players in the expansion draft. They build these like super teams. They get these awesome fan bases. And now they're better. They're just better. If I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, I don't know how I wake up in the morning during stuff like this. Expansion teams going to conference finals?
You are the Cleveland Browns of the NHL.
Can you imagine? And here's the thing. Connor McDavid is legitimately better than everybody. Like it's not even close at this point.
Right.
And they just can't do it. Hockey is the most team sport of team sports, I think, in major professional sport, right?
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Look, I mean, you still need 5 guys in a basketball court, but if LeBron and Anthony Davis are carrying that entire team, Steph and if his other teammates can do it, right? Because hockey players are not on the ice. They're not even on the ice a majority of the time. Connor McDavid is only on the ice for like 20 total minutes a game out of the 60, 23 maybe, 24 max. That's not even half of the game. So those other 14, 16 guys that are filling up those second, third, even fourth lines for the Oilers, that is why the general managers of hockey teams have a crazy tough job. And it is hard to build a hockey dynasty around one player anymore. It really, really is.
Yeah.
You kind of got to feel. Go ahead.
I like it because I've been having this theory for the last couple of years that the NHL really needs to expand in the South. Because I think this is isn't this like the 4th or 5th year in a row the Stanley Cup is probably going to stay in the South? Like at a Southern franchise.
Dallas has a chance, right?
Yeah, Tampa just won 2 in the last 3 years.
Yeah, Florida is out. No, Florida's out, right?
Florida's out. Is Carolina still in it?
Carolina. There you go.
Carolina still in it?
Yeah. Carolina beat Jersey. Yeah, man. It's the problem is that they keep expanding. They want to expand in the South. Atlanta, I'm sorry, that franchise obviously failed. The one in Phoenix is failing. Freddie Amell says there's an incentive to make new teams competitive right away, coming at a cost to the rest of the league. But is building the league worth that cost? I would say that, like, look at how baseball did it, right, with expansion franchises and how poorly that went. Florida Marlins, they like built a franchise, but they never built a fan base. They like bought a team, got rid of them. Bought a team, got rid of them. Football, I mean, really haven't expanded since who? The Houston Texans?
Yeah, that was the last franchise.
That was the last franchise, right?
And that was really them just, if you really think about outside of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the last 2 expansion teams were just them bringing teams to old NFL markets anyway.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens and the
Houston Texans.
Houston Texans. Yeah.
Freddie Amell, Florida, Carolina, Dallas, Vegas, Seattle. Yeah. I mean, do we call Vegas the South? I mean, it's warm weather. And there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people that you meet in like eastern parts of California, places like Fresno and parts of even Orange County, even up to like northern parts of California that are closer to Nevada, that are all Vegas Knights fans. They love the Golden Knights. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And Carolina is diehard about their Hurricanes. You have to, I think, for a hockey team to succeed in a warm weather town, I think you have to go to a town that doesn't have another like 2 or 3 professional franchises.
Right.
So like I think a city that could really do well with a hockey team is New Orleans. You don't think so? No. Okay. All right.
They're not even doing well, the NBA team.
What about a town? What about a city like an Oklahoma City with a hockey team? Or
I think they would like it.
Yeah.
They would like it.
Okay.
I mean, keep in mind, though, another city in the South we're not talking about that actually has a really good fan base is Nashville. They just kept losing the Stanley Cup. What also makes it interesting is College Hockey South, which is like the SEC of hockey down here.
Yeah.
They're growing. They actually used to be known as the SEC Hockey League. So I think that's what's going to eventually, because I've always thought Birmingham is a city that will probably embrace hockey because they don't. You will never be able to start an NFL team in Alabama. You'll never get those fans to like anybody over Alabama and the rest of them over Auburn. So you might as well go for a sport like hockey. Yeah, and then one thing folks don't understand is the Braves are really the team of the South.
The Braves are?
In Alabama. Yeah, the Braves are. So in Alabama, parts of North Florida, the Carolinas, and even into Kentucky, parts of Tennessee, they love the Braves. So I don't think you could even start a Major League Baseball team in the state of Alabama. So if there's a team, the Hawks are too close, so you can't bring the NBA there. So there's a sport I think could start a pro franchise and succeed in Bama. It's hockey.
Birmingham. Yeah. I love a good. I mean, I was thinking one of those southern states that doesn't even have a professional franchise.
You're not going to get that in Mississippi. I
don't think there's enough population density in Mississippi to
like density as far as like Orioles. I mean, they're low in both, but whatever. Actually, what's funny is this picture went viral because it was this dude compared LSU's football locker room to their library, which is 2 different pipelines of funding. But this former LSU player has a ESPN radio station thingy in New Orleans, and he made a comment about Louisiana. He said, "We are first in everything you want to be last in, and last in everything you want to be first in as a state." I was like, that is the best way to describe this.
That's tough. That's a tough slide. Okay, finally, Leighton, end on something fun. This weekend, I officiated a wedding, and I noticed something that I didn't know happened this often is that women lose their shoes at weddings often. apparently.
Yes. I saw a woman lose her shoe at a graduation yesterday. Like she literally walked down the aisle. Actually, this graduation was in our arena from season 1.
Oh yeah, at the Excel Center.
Yeah. Gas South Arena, but yeah.
Oh, Andrew Cook says, so Josh, are you going to be covering Major League Cricket when it comes on this summer? Yes. Mm-hmm. I would love. I'm telling you, I'm into cricket. It is a fun sport to watch. Atlanta has a team.
We were supposed to. They built these like cricket fields out here. It's really interesting.
Where'd they put them?
Somewhere that they consider Atlanta. That's not really Atlanta. Forsyth County, yeah. Which is where they're planning on building the new hockey arena up there.
Is in Forsyth County. How far is that from downtown Atlanta? Like what about from like Buckhead?
I'm in downtown Atlanta, so let's see how far. Oh gosh, it's an hour and a half drive.
No.
Yeah.
How are you going to get people out there?
There's a lot of people out there.
OVO Ghost, an hour. Wow. Okay. I mean, when they built the San Francisco 49ers stadium in Santa Clara, I mean, that's a solid 45 minutes, depending on traffic, to an hour from San Francisco, and you still get a ton of people. And OVO Ghost says they won't get people to Forsyth County for a Nashville or for an Atlanta hockey game. Okay.
Yeah, you do not want to go.
But listen, I love a good wedding. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this right now. I didn't know that women lost their shoes this often. It happened to my cousin. It happened to my aunt. There was a basket full of like flip-flops for women to put on to dance with at the wedding, which I thought was like kind of a cool touch, right? But for me, like losing a pair of shoes, I don't recover from that. What happens to my feet the rest of the night? Like I can't take off my shoes. My feet are burning at the end of a wedding because I'm dancing the hell out of the place. I mean, I've lost a flip-flop at a bar one time because it just got stuck to the floor and I was drunk. But
you wore flip-flops to it. Never mind. Keep going.
The East Coast in the Northeast, right? On the Jersey Shore, the nicer part of the Jersey Shore, the look in the late 90s, early 2000s, the mid 2000s was jeans, flip-flops, and t-shirts. That's the look. Rainbow sandals, pair of jeans, t-shirt. When you go out to the bars at night, that's the look. And when I first, and Freddie Amos said, Josh Macuga, when I first started dating Amanda, I wore jeans and flip-flops out one time. Not like on a date, but we were first dating, and I wore jeans and flip-flops over to her place, and she's like, this is unacceptable. You can't. We're not doing jeans and flip-flops.
Yes.
So it took me a few years to like, really change my mind on things. And, it's kind of like how we went from really baggy jeans to then skinny jeans to back to baggy-ish jeans. I'm not really sure where the jeans situation is right now. I know I'm not cool enough to know. So, but losing your shoes, you like it's really man. And I'm going to say this too, Leighton. When you get married, don't get a band. Don't get a band.
Just get a DJ.
Get a DJ. Because guess what? The band has a limited playlist that they can do. And they are set in their ways. This band leader from this wedding this weekend, he would not be swayed in any way, shape, or form. He would not be swayed. He's like, we planned on these songs. This is what we're doing. So no matter how many times me and my cousin yelled Taylor Swift style, they weren't going to play that song.
It might be time to have AI bands, like robot bands.
Listen, I'm against AI in some places, but I might be with AI robots.
Only for wedding bands. Wedding bands. Yeah.
See, now that's an idea. Maybe that's a small business we should start.
Yeah.
And that becomes a major business.
And they move like the little machines at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. Don't Stop Believing. Yeah. They didn't even play Don't Stop Believing. They played No Journey. To this point where my dad was like, they didn't even play Journey. And I was like, I know. This is some total BS. OVO Ghost says it on.
I kind of want to experience a Macuga party at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's a movie.
It is. It's a ton of fun. I feel like I can get you into a wedding sometime soon. I don't know. We got to figure that out. My one cousin who lives in Atlanta getting married in Pittsburgh. So that would have been an easy invite to.
Is it in football season though?
Yeah, it's right before. Well, no, I think it's Labor Day weekend. So it's the week before week one. The NFL season.
Okay.
Yeah. And I tried to convince Amanda to stay like an extra week so we could go to the Steeler game, but She's not in it. Yeah, Ruthless Cutie. So like a playlist? Yeah. And the DJ can like variation off a playlist. The band doesn't have that ability.
No, they don't.
We went to my buddy's wedding in Pittsburgh a few years ago, and all the guys in the band were really overweight. They took a break after every 2 songs. They're like, we'll be back after this. Take a quick break. They all like sat down and they got back up.
I agree.
Blasphemy. See, yeah, ask Brian Clark. He's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
Or you get married on an away game weekend. So
I'd go for that.
You know what I mean?
An away game in the early part of the season.
Correct.
Yeah, like if
Correct.
you need every win at this point.
Yes.
Then, yeah.
But you know what is an amazing thing, and I thought my cousin was going to do it, but he didn't. You can have your wedding reception at the on the club section of Heinz Field.
Really?
Yeah. It's really nice, actually. Bar, dancing, all of it. And then the backdrop is, and you can walk out to they have it sectioned up, but you can walk out to look at the field and then walk back in. Yeah. It's sick. Yeah.
No, it's sucker. They like lost.
Andrew Cook says the best fan-controlled wedding playlist. Yeah, put a live stream up.
Yeah,
fans control whatever. We were talking about on the Fan Control show last week. All right, Leighton,
nice.
How you feeling? Good?
Feeling pretty good. I think I'm gonna go to the park.
Yeah.
Look
at you enjoying the summer. I'll be honest, I miss being in Atlanta this time of year. That was a lot of fun last season. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait till seasons ramp back up, and I can't wait to have all the fans back.
Of course.
Fan controlling things, but I think we should really start putting together our reality show pitch of how deep we go into a fan controlled reality world.
Yeah. I just want to buy a community and just have people become a bank teller and they have to do this. And you control how one person's decisions and it affects that entire community of people. I think it's a great idea.
Dude, you know what would be a great community to actually set this fan controlled thing in is Colonial Williamsburg. So you have to fan control like an old colonial town?
Is it like...
Have you ever been there?
No.
It's creepy. It's so... Everybody thinks that they're like... They do not break character.
Oh, so it's like a... what's that show? It's like a WandaVision type
situation. Yes. Yep. Why not say fan-controlled witch hunts?
Yes. That's it. She's a witch? Yes, that's why. I just want to vote. Like, if she's a witch, she's a witch. That's it.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff we can add in there.
Yeah, she's a witch.
It's not even it's like it's love mixed with Survivor, mixed with a murder mystery, mixed with, maybe they make one guy blind the whole time. Like they blindfold him so he doesn't know what anybody looks like. Like Love is Blind. They're like, hey, this guy's blind. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. We're here every single Monday. Josh Macuga, Leighton Batiste, Fan Controlled Lay on Twitter. Or on Instagram, at Josh Macuga on Instagram, Twitter, across the board, at Fan Controlled Sports, at Fan Controlled, everywhere you look, Twitter, or TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there. We're here every single Monday. Thanks for being here. Leighton, tell the people before we leave, what your advice for the week would be for them. Just give them some, good Leighton-like advice.
Hey, look, if you place bets this week, just don't bet on Al Horford. I learned the hard way. That's my advice for you this week.
Boom. All right. Now get back to work.
Back to work.
Thank you, fans, for watching Back to Work with Leighton Batiste and Josh Macuga on the Fan Controlled Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. If you liked this video, you can check out other videos right here. You can subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends, hit like buttons across all the videos, check out all of our shorts and live shows, and as always, power to the fans.